What was the most vigorous debate outside of the top 4 playoff teams in terms of the rankings? All of us here expressed some surprise that Georgia was able to hold at number 5 despite being really overwhelmed by LSU yesterday.
Well, there's a lot of conversation between 5 and 10, even 11. But when you look at Georgia's resume, those 3 wins over top 25 teams really held the day for the committee. We also spent a lot of time making sure that we went deep into the group of 5 to make sure that we got that right, given what was on the line.
Okay, when you look at these, how much consideration is given in the room? Look, I've gone through the exercise before. It's easy to sit back and have observers say there's some type of orchestration going on to set up this matchup or that one, or to take care of this conference or rectify old ills. How much is done to try to look at it and balance and make sure that you have some new matchups and things like that as it pertains to how teams wind up being ranked?
Zero. Our job is to identify each year and to only look at that year and to make sure that we rank the best teams 1 through 25, and that's what we do.
What was the difference, and it ended up being the difference in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic between Penn State and Utah?
Obviously Penn State has those wins against ranked opponents, and Utah doesn't. The committee really valued Utah all year. We're really impressed with them. But they had 2 opportunities to play ranked teams. And when you're getting in this neighborhood of folks that play some ranked teams, that becomes a separator.
Okay, ranked teams is something that you've returned to several times. Victories over ranked teams when you're balancing it against maybe losses against mediocre teams. Which carries the day with this particular committee?
It's never one thing or the other, and that's the challenge in explaining all this. You're looking at those full resumes, and each one is in degrees, and the beauty of a committee is you have 13 football experts who can weight it how they want. But we put all those things on the table. We talk about the good wins. We talk about the losses. We even talk about how they happen in a sequence. So it's all the above.
When you look at the bowl matchups, though, what's your reaction to the work that the committee wound up with in terms of getting the bowls and getting the teams ranked in this order?
Well, we've spent a lot of time over the last 6 weeks watching these games, evaluating each teams, having great debate. The committee came prepared. We spent a lot of time on each team. And again, our job is to get 1 through 25. The slots fall as they may. And, we're excited about seeing what happens in postseason.
The one reaction that several of us had on the set was seeing Alabama fall to 13. And it's beyond dispute that Alabama doesn't have any great wins. But prior to that close loss in a bizarre, wild game, entertaining game at Auburn, football judgment seemed to carry the day for Alabama's evaluation. What changed?
Well, I think that was similar to Utah and Alabama. We were watching those games, and football judgment was carrying the day, or what we were seeing in the performance. But when they had the opportunity against the ranked opponents, even though it wasn't as many as some other teams, that impacted the judgment, especially when you're looking at the teams above them who are winning some of those games.
When you think back over the time that you guys spent together this weekend, what was the most vigorous debate, top to bottom?
1-2. That's where we spent the most time. Obviously, we've done that for several weeks. Those teams are really close. They're great teams. So that's probably where the most debate was.
How many votes did you end up taking for the top?
I think 2 overall.
Did the results change from one to the next?
No.
And that's all I'm getting on that? No? Was it close the first time?
No, I mean, we spent considerable time on it. As you know, we meet right after the games on Saturday. We met until 1 in the morning. We had a lot of debate. We put a vote on. We put LSU 1, Ohio State 2. We went back, got some rest, came back, and engaged in it again to make sure that we got it right. Put it to a vote, and had the same result.
When we spoke earlier, Rob, right after the top 4 was revealed, you sort of alluded to the fact that we were likely to see Georgia at number 5. It seemed very clear-cut to all of us that it would be Oklahoma getting that last playoff spot. How vigorous was the debate among now what we know those next 3 teams, Oklahoma who got the spot, then Georgia and Oregon after that, understanding that you have to recuse yourself when Oregon's on the board being discussed?
Right. The committee, we want to make sure we're thorough. Even on the top 3 teams, we appoint someone to make a case for each of those teams as number one. Similar for 4 and 5. You want to make sure that you're comparing Oklahoma to what is the committee felt was the number 5 team, and we did that as a matter of process. But it was clear Oklahoma was number 4.
What's up? Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. Don't forget to download the ESPN app, and if you want more premium content, which you do, make sure that you subscribe to ESPN+. See you soon.